What's up, y'all? It's your boy C3 Nick. We back out here. Give me just a second to get my people back in here. We had to shut that one down abruptly because we had some troll in the comments saying they were gonna. Oh shit! Hang on a second, folks. My bad. Get this background off. Yeah, thanks for joining me, y'all. We back. We back. Sony's back in the house. Let's see if we can get Red Pill back. Yo,
We back.
we back. Yeah, good call seeing that. Here, get
That's
Unicorn
crazy.
back.
Hey, look, this is why, look, women are out of pocket, okay? That was an old ass woman. That wasn't even a young woman. That was an old ass, mean, cantankerous woman. I don't like what you're talking about, so you need to shut up. That's crazy as hell.
Why'd she say? Did she even give a reason? Not that it would be a good one, but
She's like, this is misogyny here. I can't believe the level of misogyny that is occurring on this live. I'm
no
gonna go
way.
report.
I wish I would have seen that. Oh, we got some invites.
I
I'm
think
trying
I
to
got a
down.
screenshot of it. I'll send it to you.
Yes, thank you. I'm trying to download that as quick as we can because I hear time is of the essence when that kind of thing happens. So I got my browser pulled up here to see if I can get it when it's done processing.
How about it? Did you get hit?
Okay.
Was dude, we're brand new out here on TikTok. Like I said, like we're taking it over. But I don't know how any of this works. Was she can ban my account or something like that? What's get hit mean?
No, if you got hit, you'd know it by now because the app would have forced you to look at your strikes. I have like 7 strikes on this channel. I'm gonna have to make a new one soon.
Really? So yeah, I can
Yeah,
imagine, dude. Yeah, you're like us. We get a lot of blowback. So you've been out here for a minute in the warfield.
it's ridiculous, man.
People.
I've been I've had my videos flagged before, and then like they will unflag it, but still give me a 7-day ban.
Wow.
But I can still live stream for some reason, so that's weird.
Yeah, yeah. It's a weird war out here. But hey, we're in it. They ain't stopping
Hmm.
us. So hey, I want the I forget what you said exactly. They got me thinking about this. Oh, women, the single women and stuff out there, not the ones that are at home who don't raise their voices. They're the ones. The single women are the ones pushing all these like crazy things in society. It seems like right now. What's your take on
Well,
topic three up here? Trans.
Uh, I don't indulge delusions of grandeur, which is why I'm not a leftist. So naturally, it stands to follow that I don't support that in particular. But
Good for you,
I
man.
also find it to be socially corrosive. Spreading how would you call it? Alternative sexualities is socially corrosive. Right next to multiculturalism and egalitarianism.
So
I
you're
mean,
suggesting it's an agenda then that they're trying to destroy society on purpose. Somebody, some group.
let's put it this way: I'm a third positionist. I have no faith in democracy at all. At all. There is no reforming the system.
Nobody
In
should have to.
1913,
Yeah, democracy
in
is inherently
1913
unstable.
there was a book written, huh?
Democracy is inherently unstable, so you're right to say that. But go on.
Well, in 1913 there was a book written by a social anthropologist named J.D. Unwin called Sex and Culture, and he went through history and found every single nation that had ever sexually liberated their women or politically empowered them. And he found the moment that you quote unquote liberate men, a nation loses its cohesion, its impetus, and its desire to actually push forward. Your birth rates collapse, and then you're invaded. Either one of two things happen: you're invaded by a nation with high birth rates, or you collapse under social anarchy and anarchic revolution. And he found that in every single nation that had ever done this, not one had been able to reverse the process,
Bro, that's deep.
despite being
Who is
That
that?
book
despite
was
being fully
written
aware that
that
it would
book
happen.
was written in 1934, and it's about the when sexual immorality collapses nations, and he took it all the way back to Sodom and Gomorrah. Every nation that has ever accepted sexual immoral nasty stuff, they all
It's 34.
fall. It was written in 1934, and it's within 3 generations of accepting sexual immorality that nations fall.
Somebody asked, is he blaming women? Now, see, this is you guys are all in
Now,
your feelings out there. He didn't say that at all. Is that what he
if you want
said?
to know whose fault this is, all you have to do is flip through your live streams and find a channel that says, uh, fucking what's his name? Andrew Tate is a loser. And just watch the behavior of those men. The men who are responsible for pushing this stuff are the limp wristed guys who are more interested in acquiring female validation than speaking truth.
Right.
And they're the ones who enable this toxic behavior.
They're
Oh,
called
no
betas, all
doubt. Yeah,
right?
beta males all day, man.
Beta.
This is a world of betas out here. Yeah, bro. This is a world of betas out here.
So are we going with toxic twats or are we going with the what's it called? The something bitch club?
Hey, I talk about them enough. I'll use both. I'll use both
Hello?
phrases, I'm sure.
Hello?
Hey,
Bitch
what's up?
club.
Suni, what was it called?
The bitter bitch club.
Bitter
Beta
bitch club. All right.
What the? Bruh.
Hello.
Bruh.
That's a Biden supporter.
Take them off. Just take them
Oh,
off.
yeah, he's out of here. He dead.
The
What
mystical
the?
mating call of the leftist.
Oh,
The
God.
incel, aka
Sorry,
the
we
incel.
don't like
Twice
abusers.
a month, the males
So-
go into estrus.
So Marley says we don't like abusers. Marley, explain how a woman who is consenting to being abused, which is her kink, how is that? How is he an abuser? I don't understand.
These people
Are y'all
have their
women
own
cool? So look,
definitions. To them,
look, let's be
consensual
honest.
sex is still
Everyone
abuse.
who's here, it is abuse. But everyone who's still here, this is not Nick's movement. This has nothing to do with him. I started Repeal the 19th. I turned into a hashtag. I put it on the show. I ran around everywhere and said it. People came on and they agreed with it.
How about that, folks?
Are y'all gonna cool with this guy? A woman started it. How are you gonna
It's
put it
hers. How about that? What are you gonna do with that piece of
I
information?
mean,
They
Hey,
want
Suni,
the
what do you
evil
say-
man. They
what do
want
you
the evil
say to
man.
the
But let's see if they
people-
say anything about her now.
Hold up, Nick. Suni, who do you say to the people, or what do you say to the people that believe that Tyler started that shit?
They kind of did together, I would say.
No, he
It seems.
didn't.
But
I
City
think it
started
was,
it.
we were in a live together and actually it started on IG. We were bored one day and he's like, hey,
Marley,
how do you feel about Repeal the
really
19th? I'm like, let's do it.
Marley says Tate targets teenagers because they're easier to manipulate. But can you really say that a 19-year-old is a teenager whenever they are actually considered an adult? They're consenting adults doing
Okay,
consenting things.
I'm gonna just say this: if it has teen behind the number, you're still a teenager. You're still a teenager.
But not in the eyes of the
until
law. Not in the eyes of the law,
I
though.
don't give a fuck what the law has to say. The damn age says it.
Well,
It says
bro,
19.
chill out. Chill out a second. That's what we're talking
It
about.
says 19.
With that same mentality,
Right.
at 18 years old, real fucking men put on the suit to represent this goddamn country. So bitches can't have it both ways. Bitch, you want equal rights, bitch, we gonna call your bitter bitch ass out at 19.
Damn. I'm saying,
So
yeah,
angry.
it's still, yeah, you still an adult, but it's still a teenager. But yeah, at the end of the day,
18. Okay,
Listen.
you know what's funny? You know what's funny is that 18 is a teenager until 18 also finds a sugar daddy, and that's just that girl working it and being a fucking, you know, like
How about
actually
that
doing
one?
her
How about that
and
one?
making her
I'm a
money.
boy, so
But
what,
you know, she's a
in my
teenager
layman's
though.
terms, I'm
So
gonna say this.
no one
I'm a
would
nigga.
say,
Bro,
no one,
hold on. She's
hold
still
up.
talking.
Hold up forever. Hold
Just a
on one
second. Just a
second.
second.
Fine, the sugar
No
daddy.
one wants to talk about all of these men that go after these younger women that
The light
will pay
skin with
for
the
their
big forehead
clothing.
is crazy.
Shut the fuck up.
Bro,
Thank you.
I'm gonna have to kick you if you're like disrespectful like that. We gotta have productive conversations. You don't have to be like a prude. You can say what you,
You don't
want.
like
But
my big forehead? You want to show your motherfucking face? Don't be no punk.
Who said
Show
I
your
didn't like
face.
it?
Be a
I'm
real
saying,
man. Speak that shit with your chest.
I'm
Oh,
saying, who
shit.
didn't say I didn't like it? Who said I didn't like it? I never said that.
But
Okay, so why you need to
it's
comment
she's
about
she's
that?
saying
Bitch,
you're
show your
you're not on the
face like
camera,
I
be a
so
can
it's
real
easy.
comment
motherfucking
on
man.
anything I please.
Bro, she's saying, hold on.
Wait,
Never
hold
said I
on,
didn't
hold on,
like
hold
it.
on. One second.
Guys, you gotta let me run this.
Hey,
Hold on. No, everybody, please stop for a second.
bro.
We gotta stop for a
Stop
second. One
being
person at a time.
immature.
One person at a time. But bro, she's saying that it's kind of lacking nuts or something to be saying that when you're not showing your face on camera, to be talking about somebody else's looks.
I never said anything. I never said anything about how she was ugly or anything.
Yeah, but big
I said
forehead.
she has a
Big
big
forehead.
How
Which,
about
if
this?
anything,
How about this?
which since you don't know me, I'm gonna let you get out of pass. I actually like big foreheads.
Get
So
out of here, man. Now you're trolling us.
next time, see if it's a compliment before you open your fucking mouth. That's
Bro,
what's wrong
chill
with
out.
women now.
Chill out. First of all,
Women
go ahead,
are
Sonny.
more attractive.
He dead. Get the hell
Okay,
out
so
of here,
can I
bro.
finish what I was saying now,
That was
please?
so, yeah, but that was such bullshit. Just so you know, young man, like you're talking on both sides of your mouth. Don't be like that. You're acting like a woman.
Okay, so when it comes down to it, we live in a culture and a society that looks at women that are very young, gets them into industries where they shake their ass for money, where they are allowed to act as though they are adults when they're actually teenagers. Um, and they have these rights, like the right to vote, the right to become strippers, the right to have sex work at these young ages. But Andrew Tate says something like, I like a woman that's younger because she has less baggage, and all of a sudden he is a walking L. Are you fucking with me? We have these women that literally go and become sugar babies for a living for these older guys, and that's just a woman working her shit and doing what she does. That makes absolutely no sense to me at all, but it's the society that we live in.
Yeah, so I don't agree with any of it, to be honest. Like, I don't think women at 18 should be getting into adult industries and stuff like that. I think that, like, adult industries, specifically, like, the corn industry, is super fucking toxic and disgusting towards women. It's super exploitive. I think if they're
Mhm.
going to do something where they're in more control, like an OF or something like that, I don't think it should be glamorized and sold to them like this great thing when we know it's not. Someone who used to work in it myself, I would confidently say I would never influence an 18-year-old girl to like do these things.
Why is that,
Um,
if you don't mind me asking?
to like to go into like OF or something like that.
Yeah, why would you not recommend that to girls?
Because I think I think the way it's portrayed in social media is very over glamorized. Like, it's like this opportunity to make really fast money and make a lot of money, which, if that's what you're looking for, sure, go for it. But I don't think people fully understand the negative side to it and how, like, you have to be very thick skinned. You have to be very prepared for like the negative consequences of it, because right now being like an sex worker it's super stigmatized. So you're going to get a lot of shame for it. You're going to get a lot of negative backlash. It does look bad to employers. Like, there's a lot of future consequences that doing this thing can hold, that I think that when you're young, you don't really think too deep about. You don't realize how much it's going to
Not to
affect you in the
mention,
future.
I'm so glad you said that stuff. Great point. Not to mention, and you can tell me if you agree or not, that messes up how men perceive you if they ever find out that was part of your past. So
Yeah,
you
like
can't escape it. You can't escape that because it's on the
no, for
internet.
sure. Yeah. Like, I'm very open about it with my future, with my partners and stuff like that. And like, I'll be honest, like, there are men that have like blatantly said like, I would never date you because of that. And I
Yeah,
have to
and
respect
even if
that.
they don't blatantly
Um,
say that, they have some form of that thought in their head because, well, there's a lot of reasons in nature and stuff. But
yeah.
it's cool to hear you acknowledge this, and hey, we all make mistakes or whatever, or have past that we learn from, and to tell other people so that they don't have to go through it is why I'm out here doing what I do. So I respect you a lot.
Yeah. But that is why I don't like men like Andrew Tate, because I don't think it's right for men who are much older to exploit young girls and say, I want an 18 or a 19-year-old Ukrainian bitch to sit on my yacht and da 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 da. Like, I don't think that that's like, I think that's disgusting.
Well,
And if you listen to the whole tape, right, it wasn't just about baggage, right? And this is what I say all the time with the whole clip, that whole statement that he made. Like, if you're looking at a relationship, if you're looking at another human being as, oh, this is just someone whose baggage I have to clean up after, like, that's not how you should be entering into a relationship. That's not a partnership, right? Like, you shouldn't be like looking at, oh my, like, when he's asked what is your target demographic, he said 18 and 19-year-old girls. I think it's weird that you would go as young as possible as long as it's legal. To me, that's a red flag. I also think it's weird. He literally says, because, maybe they only have one guy from high school. So then, I can take them and I can leave my imprint on them. Like,
well,
why can't she just grow up to be the kind of person she wants to be? And if you
because,
guys aren't compatible, you're not compatible. Why can't you find the same things in someone your own age? If you want a certain
because a good woman,
type of woman,
a good woman follows a
Hold on,
man,
Nate. Hold on. One
follows a
second.
man.
Just
Like,
let her
Sudi,
finish.
let's Sudi. Well, I want to cut her off at certain points. Go ahead, Sudi, just so
sorry,
we
go
can
ahead.
hit each one.
All right, no, you're good. So as we get older, women are more set in their ways. Um, I met my husband at 17, got married at 19. If he were to wait until we were older to get married, I'm pretty sure our marriage would have failed. When you're younger, you are more impressionable. You're more able to be trained. Like women don't like these words, but listen, when you get married to a man, you are his property. Men don't love anything they can't own. So until we
Holy
come to
shit.
terms with, at the end of the day, I'm taking his last name. I'm having his children. I live in his house, his rules. It is what it is. I don't think there's anything wrong with an older man wanting a younger woman with less baggage, less things to deal with. There's nothing wrong with that. Older women date young men for the same exact reasons. The same exact reasons.
I think
What's the difference? And go ahead.
to
Sorry.
me, oh no, go ahead. Sorry, I thought you were. There was a pause. I thought you were done. Go ahead.
No, I'm good. Go ahead.
To me, it just reads very much like I want someone who I can manipulate. Like that's how it reads to me. That's how it looks to me. And I think that can be very dangerous. There are plenty of women in their late 20s and early 30s who are traditional women, who have those traditional values, who want that lifestyle, who do want to be housewives, who do want to, let their husband lead and follow
Single
suit and
women?
do all of those
There's a lot of
things.
single women like that in their 20s
Yeah.
and 30s?
Yes.
I mean,
How's that
yeah,
happen?
I'm
How's
one
that
of those
happen?
single women.
Yeah, tell us, how's that happen? Because that's interesting. Did you find your traditionalism late,
No,
I guess, or
actually,
something?
I was not traditional before. It took me like going through a shit ton of shit in my life to be like, you know what? I would like a man to lead. I would like to be a helper rather than a leader.
So
Red
I
let
have
me
a
pill.
ask you a
question for
What's up?
question.
Marley.
Mhm.
Marley, are you married?
No,
Do you have children?
no, I'm in a relationship, but I am not married or have children.
Marley is based. I do like Marley,
No,
but
she's being
I
very,
I
very
I
respectful.
will
I will
I will
say
tell
that
you
I don't agree. Oh, sorry, continue. I apologize.
it's more beneficial for a man to get with a younger woman. I was 19, my husband was 28. We've been married for 22 years now. Um and so when you have a younger woman, then you can train her to be the wife that you need. And especially in these days, I have 4 sons. And there's no way I'm going to be like, wait until you're 25 and find a 25-year-old chick, because these chicks have been ran through. They got more train tracks and Amtrak miles, okay? And it's just really sad. Like, they need to find a younger chick who's legal, because these girls are not being raised wholesome. And I don't want no thought box raising my grandchildren. These bitches got videotapes at 18 years old out there. I don't want my grandkids to find a video of their mom shaking her naked ass on whatever.
I mean, I feel like I just see relationships very differently. Like, I don't see it as someone owning me and training me. I see it as a partnership. Like, we're in this together, right?
Do
Like
you want a man
That's
that's a
why
leader?
shit fails.
Do you want a man
That's
that's a
why
leader?
shit fails.
Do you want a man that's a
That is
leader?
exactly why shit fails.
hold
Marriage
on.
is not a
Hang on, hang on,
partnership.
hang on one second.
I
Do you
think
want a
it
man
is a
that's a leader?
partnership. I'm sorry.
Do you want a man that's a leader?
Sure, yeah, he can be.
Then
I mean,
that's
we
not a
can.
partnership. That wouldn't be a
Hold on.
partnership.
Hold on. What I was gonna finish that with was like we can both lead in different areas. Like I think like
Mm-mm.
even in a more traditional household, like there's still like times like the woman leads,
You
maybe
excel at a
not.
lot of things, but there's only one leader ultimately. Like if
Well,
you can't
Nick,
have two
I
captains or
will.
two cooks in the kitchen. It just
Nick,
doesn't work
I
like
will
that. Two
say that I
CEOs.
disagree with you slightly in this scenario that I'm going to give you. I believe that there are certain things that women do better than men in the household.
Yes, and the man will let her
And
do that,
hold
and
on,
he'll
hold on,
delegate that.
hold on. Let me
No,
finish. Let me
I hear
finish.
where you're getting at
Let me
already.
finish.
I'm just
Let me finish. Let me finish, please. Thank
okay.
you. There are certain things that women do better in the household where they will lead that situation. But like what I mean is that men play a role, women play a role, and they need each other in order to have a productive household.
They're a
That's
complementary
what I
pair, but
mean.
they're not a partnership. There has to be one leader ultimately
Well,
to make
if
the
you're a
ultimate decision.
complementary pair, are you not partners?
What's that?
You're
I
not
have
a
a
If you're
question.
a
partnership.
complement, you can have a leader, but you can also work with your leader. That's what I mean
Yeah,
whenever
yeah,
I say I'm a helper.
but I was asking like I'm not. It's just a distinction without a difference because yeah. Go ahead, Sunny. Go ahead.
Marriage is not a partnership. When things go south, you do not bear the same responsibility your husband does. So saying you're in a partnership is absurd. He bears more of the responsibility if things go left. You don't. It's not a partnership. Marriage is duty. It's not a part. I've been married 11 years. She's been married 20 something years.
But do you
It is
not
not
work
a
with
partnership.
your husband to make things better in your household?
Yeah, but that's not
I,
a partnership. That is me playing my role, which is this household. That's what I do.
listen, if you want to say I am the leader of the laundry and the leader of the damn kitchen, like if I'm the leader of slaying his food, like making sure that he's straight,
Well, I
then
refer
that's
to
where
the
I
kitchen
lead.
as my kitchen. I refer to the laundry as like the laundry room as my laundry room. Like, get out of my kitchen while I'm cooking.
But do you hear what we're saying? Like, yeah, you might lead in those tasks, but that would be more a general manager or a something like that. If you want to have an analogy, there has to be a CEO ultimately that makes the big decisions and takes the most responsibility
Oh,
on
I
for
don't
that.
mind being a secretary, but without the
So,
secretary,
but
like,
you,
how is he gonna get his car his like
I
his
hear
phone
you,
calls every day?
girl. Hey, every captain needs a first mate for the ship to run. So yeah, equally important responsibility. You're not.
Okay, so you agree then?
Well, I agree
So
that
I
men and women aren't equals. They're not partners. They're equally important in the equation. Okay, without one,
Yeah,
the other suffers.
that's
They both
agreeing,
do. They
basically.
both do. But there has to be one leader that the other follows more or less. You know, obviously he's
But
going to
what
consider her
And he,
counsel. He's
if
going
you
to
That's
think
consider
what
her
I
about it
counsel and her
though,
said.
like
feelings.
if you think about it, if you're someone who wants to raise a family together and you want to be the stay-at-home wife and you want your husband at work while you're home raising your kids, you're the one that's spending 10 hours a day with your kids, running
Yeah,
the
that's
you
why he's going
house.
to
should
make sure he
be.
trusts you a lot to do
But
that.
that's what
You're
I'm
raising
saying is
them.
that like I wouldn't argue that the responsibility of spending that time with your kids and running the house while you're gone is any less valuable than what you're doing
Did I
to
not just
to
say it's
bring
equally important?
financial support. Yeah.
It's not less valuable and it's not less important. I just said it's equally important. It's no less valuable. It's equally valuable. It's just
I
different
think that's
positions.
I think a lot of modern women have taken it into a negative context,
Yeah.
like, oh my
they
God,
have.
I just stay home and raise the children, so I'm less than. No, you're literally assisting in raising the future generations.
Most important
When
role
I
on
have
earth.
taken when I have taken care of my sons and now my daughter, it is I am raising future husbands of America. Like I
Hmm.
really want my boys to grow up in a great home and support my children and support my husband is the biggest thing because I want my boys to have a wife who is going to take care of him. That's their job. And I
People
need
speak
my
for me.
boys to understand that. And Nick, I think that the analogy of your husband being a captain of a ship is totally correct. I'm his first mate, but when the ship sinks, who's on the ship till the end? The husband, right? So we have to understand and it's okay to be the first mate. It is okay.
It's more
I
than
love
okay. It's a
it.
great position. Thank you for saying that, Red Pill. More young ladies need to hear this. It's a great privileged position if you could luckily land a high enough value man that can provide you the comfortability to stay at home and do nothing but focus on making a beautiful, safe, insulated home for raising those children of his. If that's your sole responsibility in the world, that is something you guys should be. If I had a daughter, I would truly be telling her to whatever she wants. If she wants a family and stuff, and not like just a career. If she's just for career, then go for that. But if she's for family and stuff, that would be my highest priority first and foremost at the youngest age possible, because you don't have an unlimited time to land that. And once you pass a certain point, you're past the threshold of likely ever landing that. Men want young women for a reason. Andrew Tate says it and gets mad, but it's biological. They're more fertile. You become geriatrically pregnant at 35. Anywhere close to that, if you want to have a big family, say you space every kid 2 years apart, and you want to have three minimum. That takes you down to 20. You guys have to be married and having your first kid by age 29. The time is ticking, ladies.
Them eggs is getting rotten.
This
I
is the
mean,
hard truth, but it's real, and this
I
is why
already
nobody's
have
getting
a
together
child,
anymore.
but
Women don't hear this shit.
it depends. Like every woman wants something different. Every man wants something
Most
different.
women
Like I
want
said, like
most
not
most
every
women want to be
single
mothers
couple.
and raise families. Most of them,
But I'm
psychologically.
saying
Not
like not every
anymore.
single person
You're right.
Not
values
anymore.
the traditional
Women.
household or the traditional roles, right? Like there's a lot of people that like what personally when I look at a partnership, I look at it as two people who are taking each other's best interest as a part of their own. That's just how I see it. That's how I was raised to see it. That's how my parents always taught me. That's how their parents taught them. And they're successful. I mean, my grandparents have been married for 60 years. My parents have been married for 35 years. So
I'm
it's
calling
like
cap on that. I'm
no,
calling straight cap.
it's not capped at all.
I'm saying that you're hard capping if you're saying that your grandparents were in a partnership. That's some straight BS. No woman back in those days are like modern women who are like, this is a partnership and we are equal. That is some straight BS. That was
Mm.
not a cultural norm. And if
That
you
might
look at it, how long did marriages last when your grandparents were coming up? A long time, right?
I will
But
say that
now,
my grandmother was 15 years old when she got married to my grandfather, and my grandfather was 19 or 20.
and how long did their marriage last?
Till death.
Well, look,
And
there's
now
always.
these modern women want to listen to Beyonce and be independent, or whoever the hell sung that damn song.
Who, by the way,
And
is married. She's a married woman when she wrote that song. That's total bullshit.
so the thing is that modern women, all they want to do is shake their ass and see what they can get to get that damn bag, to use men and basically just be prostitutes.
It's bad. It's a bad look.
Yeah. Can I say something on that?
Please do.
That's a byproduct of simply, and I can't think of a gentler way to say this, but that's just a result of men collectively letting the leash off of women, so to speak.
Bro.
There you go.
If you
There you go.
if you tell them you can do whatever you want and you're equal in a free society, the most powerful tool in a woman's arsenal is her sexuality. So that's the first thing she's
Yep.
going to weaponize and turn against her fellow man.
Great point.
And lo and behold, that is exactly what they have done.
Great point.
So
Yep.
the only way this ends is when, well, for starters, the beta males and the cucks got to go. They're the ones who are going to pick up
Yes.
weapons for these girls. They got to
Yes,
go.
bro. You're right. Yes. Name them and
Once
shame
they're
them. Name them
gone,
and shame them. People call them beta all day. Every time you see a
once
beta
those
around.
men are gone, there is not a woman alive who actually wants to pick up a rifle and fight for her rights.
And good luck if she does, man. But either way, yeah. So yeah.
I mean, you might find a few outliers who watched a little too much Netflix, but aside from that,
some
you're not
Catwomen.
gonna-
Some Catwomen.
yeah, right. Just
We got
walking
a
out there
beta
with
male
with
in
their
the
pink.
chat, y'all.
What's the beta male saying in the chat, Suni? Keep me updated if there's
We
any
got
good
a beta
chats.
male in the
I
chat.
can't.
He's stuck on the fact that he said that men have let women off the leash. I've
bet he's a-
never met a more sensitive. I'm 32, bro. I have never met more sensitive men than I have in the last 10 years. Are you really going to freak out over a word? It's an analogy, okay? It does not mean that women are actually on leashes.
Bro,
It
if it makes you
means,
feel better, men were never let off the
Don't step
leash.
on it.
We are still obliged to do everything that we were obliged to do 100 years ago.
Yes,
We
great
are
way to
still
put it.
very much collared and leashed by our society.
Well
It's
said,
women
bro.
who have been let off of it.
Well said.
come on, man.
Do you
Words
guys
don't have power. You're just sensitive, man.
do you
Go ahead.
guys believe
Sensitive.
There's
Do you
nothing
guys
wrong with being a
believe,
sensitive man, but you got to temper that with some strength, bro.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Marlene. Go ahead.
I was gonna ask, like, are any of you guys like religious at all, or
I do.
Yeah, many of them
okay? So like I was like raised religiously. I not anymore, but I know like in the Bible it talks about like how like a woman is to serve her husband and like a husband is to serve his wife. But like the way it's described in the Bible is to be completely
are. Red Pill,
selfless for
is
one
that
another.
incorrect? Is that incorrect, Red Pill?
No,
Because I saw you
Yeah,
nodding
you're
her head.
incorrect.
She knows the Bible pretty well, so I just wanted to ask her.
That's very
You're
incorrect.
incorrect. It's very incorrect.
Is it not to
Women are
serve each
to
other
submit to
equally?
their husbands. Women are to submit to their husbands, and men are to submit to God.
And children
They
are
are
to
to
submit to
submit.
parents.
They are to submit to one another, but ultimately the man is definitely the head. And
Wow.
there's a scripture that says the man is the head of a woman, and Christ is the head of the man. That's what the word
Exactly.
says.
Damn.
Gotcha.
You know, if you're a young man, if
It
you're
also
like under the age of 20 and you're just starting off dating, you're going to come across a funny phenomenon because all of your preconceptions of women will slowly start getting erased away as you date
Hey
more
guys,
and
I
more.
gotta drop real quick. I'll be back later.
All right, girly.
I remember like when I'm 37, and when I was in my 20s, man, I was flinging seed like an old bird feeder. I dated every woman who would come my way. I was like an old time boxer. I took all comers, but it was a crazy experience, huh?
Doesn't it say that like wives should submit to their husbands and then husbands to love their wives as Christ loves? I think it's like either
yeah.
his people or the church. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll come
how
back
did
to this,
Christ
but
love the church?
I'll come back to what I was
He
going on,
loved
but
the
what you
church
said
so much
earlier was
that he
dead
died
on.
for
Yeah.
it.
The arrangement is a man is faithful and takes care of his woman and takes care of his children, handles his business. In exchange for that, the woman is to submit and shelve her ego, knowing that she can get any man she wants.
Yep.
Ooh.
That's the exchange. That is the
Wow.
ebb and flow and the trust and the push and pull between the sexes.
That's amazing, bro.
And
That's so profound. Holy hell. That's deep.
like it's a simple contract. The man embodies responsibility. The woman embodies freedom and peace. And both sexes simply covet the other for what they offer one another, because the other doesn't have it. Women generally, sorry ladies, lack responsibility, and men lack peace.
Yes.
Damn, bro. You're coming with some fire tonight. That's serious. That's serious stuff.
Every single time I've had to bring this up in conversation, I get to look like I just mentioned 9/11 in the middle of a freaking New York Convention Center.
Bro,
It's
you
like,
found the
oh
right
my
side of the
God,
internet,
just
man.
leave me alone.
Last night I was getting slayed by a woman, and yeah, you found the right side of the internet. You're amongst friends over here, bro. Hey, welcome, Balula. How's it going? Thanks for joining.
Pretty good. Hi, Marley.
Hey, Bella.
I wanted to ask, why do you think that women are not responsible?
Are you asking me?
No, I'd like Sunni,
Yes.
Sunni if you
I'm
may.
assuming that's what you just said.
Sunni,
You were
if
the one
you
who
if
said
you
it.
Sunni?
take the lead on that, yeah. If you'd go first on that, I'd like you to
Sure.
answer that.
Someone made my point for me. She said, how do women lack responsibility when most single parent households are single moms? That's irresponsible to create a single parent home. You're having sex
Why?
with men who aren't capable of being fathers. Why are you laying down with men who aren't going to be there for their kids?
I'm a single
That's
mom, and
creating
I'm raising my son to be a better man than Andrew Tate. At
right.
all.
No,
Like,
no. Let's not use Andrew Tate. We're
that's
insulting
just
a
an
guy who's not
example.
here.
That's just an example. That's fine.
So why are you not with your child's father?
He raped me.
Well, then
You,
that's an extreme situation. We're not
you,
talking
It's
about
actually
you. We're
not. A
talking
lot of
about
single moms are assaulted and get a pregnancy resulting out of it and just don't report it.
You're
Do you know
capping.
why?
It's really
no.
Do you
They
know
not.
why single
60
moms
get
to
are
it fine.
targeted
80%
by
of
Wait
assaults
predators?
a
go
minute. Wait a minute.
unreported.
one at a time, guys.
I
One
was
at a time.
talking. I was talking and you cut me off. You asked me a question. The majority of women who have single parent homes are choosing horrible men to procreate with. I don't understand why we can't hold women accountable in that regard. That is an irresponsible decision. Is that not?
Wait, why can't we hold men accountable to not be abusive or to be more
We're not talking
responsible?
about
Well,
men.
let's
She
talk
But
about
I'm
asked
that
me
saying,
why
but we
after.
are
men are
talking about men. We're
irresponsible.
100. I
No,
think we're
we're
like
not. Let's
mainly
stay
No,
on what
talking
she
about
asked
men.
me. She
women's
asked me
Okay,
accountability. Women's
right.
why.
accountability.
But I'm
Hold
saying,
on.
like, a man is like, it's not like,
We're
why
moving
are
the
we talking about?
goalposts. I'm asking a simple question.
But why
It's
are
I'm
we
really
asking a
not
talking
though.
about
simple
men like
question.
they're also not
Marley,
grown
Marley,
adults
Marley,
too?
hang on a second, hon. Do you see this
Bro,
topic up here? Women's
can we
accountability.
stick?
Women's accountability. We're not
Have I
talking
not
about
been
men's accountability.
respectful to everyone here?
Hmm.
Do women choose who they have sex with?
Of course, most of the time.
Okay, so they choose who is skeeting in them, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so how does that not make that woman responsible for the woman she chose to sleep with when you just acknowledged that women control access to sex?
Because
Da-na-na.
I don't control another person's actions, right? So I can control
Bro,
myself.
but
Like
you
you
are
said, hold on,
allowing
hold on,
them to have
hold on.
So
sex
you,
No,
with
I'm
you.
acknowledging.
Hold
I'm
on.
acknowledging.
Wait.
I'm acknowledging. I'm
Come
acknowledging.
on, bro.
Yes. Yes, I should be careful about the character of the person I'm laying down with. 100%. However, that does not excuse that person from dropping the ball on their side of the
we're not trying to do
responsibility.
that right now. We didn't say that at
We're
all.
not
We're just talking
I
saying
about
know.
women's
that.
I'm
accountability.
saying it's both people's responsibility.
Okay,
It's
but
not
we're just talking
just the
about
woman.
women's accountability right now, in the lack
Okay, women's
thereof.
accountability, sure. So then why isn't it the responsible choice to provide for that child?
Okay,
They were
but
not the
you
ones that dipped out on the
guys,
child.
we're
You
not trying to make
totally
an
moved the
argument here.
goalposts.
We're not making.
How?
Hang on, hold on, hold on,
Wait,
hold on.
wait.
No, you
Hold
gotta
up.
wait for me to
You
clarify.
guys are talking over people who are opposing right now. I'm asking
Ma'am,
a
no, I'm
question.
just trying to clarify so make sure you understand our position. We're not saying that anything about men's accountability right now. We're not suggesting anything about that. We're saying there's a lack of accountability on the women's side, and we want to address that. So
That's
if you
not
want
what
to
I'm
talk about,
talking about.
well,
I
that's
said,
our
okay,
topic. That's what we're talking about.
hold
So if you don't
on.
want to talk about that, no,
Hold
no,
on.
no, hold on, no.
Uh,
You're not going to steamroll me. No, I'll kick you off if you don't want. That's our
Wait,
topic.
I'm literally going towards the women's accountability part, but
Well, then,
you
okay,
did.
great. That's what we're
Listen,
talking about. Well, you
that's
said
what
you
I
know
was talking about. I said that, like,
You said
literally,
you're
that's
not,
the line I was going down.
hon.
So I
You,
literally said,
all right, I'm gonna let this
okay,
slide. I'm
women's
gonna let this slide as a
accountability.
woman
How is,
moment. I'm gonna let
wait,
this slide
hold
as a
on.
woman moment. But go ahead.
Dude, you want to have a debate, but you continue to talk over me.
No,
I
I don't want to have
literally
nothing.
said,
I
if
want to
you
host
want
this
to go
show.
down
No,
women's
no, no.
accountability,
I want to host this
yes.
show. I don't want to have nothing. I want to have silence from you when I'm talking. Okay? How about that?
No, actually, no. I'm
Well,
not.
then we'll
That's
see
not
you
the line
later.
we're going to go down.
Okay, then we'll see you
I
later.
want
I
to
do the
have a
same for you.
respectful debate,
I
but
do the
I'm not
same
going
for
to be
you.
talked to like that.
I do the same for you. When you're talking, I silence. So why is that
No,
so?
you don't. You're still talking.
Let
You
her make her
literally were
point.
still talking.
Go ahead.
Okay.
She acknowledged
What I
that.
was
I
trying
guess
to
she
say.
acknowledged my point.
Oh my god.
See, silence. That's
Come on, we believe in you.
Good fucking Lord. I was trying to say that, okay, we can go down women's responsibility.
Draco.
How is it not the woman's responsible choice to take care and provide for that child and not dip out like
No
the
one,
father did?
no one said that
That's what
May
I'm
I
asking.
interject?
How is that not a responsible choice?
May I
because we're
interject?
saying being a single. Yeah, I'll let you interject for 1 second, but I'm going to make my point very clear. I said having sex with we'll say someone who is not capable of being a father, and most women know that because we're not idiots. That is your responsibility, and that
No,
is where you're irresponsible.
you said it's irresponsible to create single family households. So why is it not responsible for taking care of the child and providing for the child when the father
She
dipped out?
missed it.
My
I
turn.
didn't say that. You're missing my
My turn.
point.
Got this.
I never said it's irresponsible for women to step up and do what needs to be done. It is irresponsible to do to have to be. It's irresponsible to create a child when you're not
Yep.
married or the man is not an actual man and you know he's going to step up. I never said it's irresponsible for a woman to step up and be a mother. I said create. That was
Okay,
the modifying word. It is irresponsible to create those homes.
that's my bad. I misunderstood that.
It's
I
all
have
good.
an,
All good.
I
Thanks
have,
for acknowledging that. That's all good. Go on, bro.
One of the wonderful things that feminism did for Western civilization was rip men out of the household. But what they did inadvertently or possibly directly and intentionally was they removed half of the equation to protect young girls from heartbreak and from making poor reproductive choices. In the old days, it wasn't fathers alone who were deciding who their daughters would marry. It was both parents. Both
Good point.
parents would find a suitor that was decent, educated, well earned, and would treat their daughter right, because the contract was, okay, here's a guy that marry him or not. It's your choice. And now if you decide to marry the guy that we choose and that marriage goes downhill, we will take you back into our home and take care of you. But if you decide to go off and do your own thing and marry someone that we haven't vetted, we're not going to be an insurance policy on your bad choices. And this is one of the many, 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 many social contracts that progressivism has destroyed. So all these young girls meandering with their newfound sexuality into single motherhood between the ages of 16 and 25, they're doing this because they have no safety blanket anymore. The family is done. It is gone. And the families that are intact, the men are usually effeminate wimps who have no desire or responsibility to take care of their kids in this particular manner. So until that changes, and in my opinion, the fastest route to that change would be a resurgence of Christianity. But that's a horse of a different color at this point. But yeah, like all these young girls, they don't have anyone in their corner, and women are just like egging them on, like, yeah, go do it, have fun, explore yourself. So men are usually the voice of reason on these matters, especially when it comes to our daughters, the girls that we love with all of our hearts.
Well, because we understand
And
the
that's just,
devaluation promiscuity brings to a woman. Like,
oh
like
Lord, it's awful.
it will
I have
change
like,
you from a wife candidate to a piece of ass, and that's a drastic difference to a man. There are two types of women: a wife or a piece of ass. And you don't want to be a piece of ass. All these women nowadays get instant validation because they put a picture of their ass out on Instagram. All these simps love it and shit. That's a dude that'll bang you, but he would never put a ring on your finger. Don't confuse the two. All the attention you're getting is not love. It's lust. It's a very different thing. It's bad.
I have two interesting questions that I would actually love to hear your guys' thoughts on. I guess the first one is, do you think part of a woman growing up and developing and being able to recognize those strong characteristics that you guys are talking about in men and making those decisions, do you think part of that has to do with the role her father plays in her life?
Absolutely.
Yes.
So do
Of
you think
Absolutely.
if
course.
she has a poor like male role model in her life growing up, that will affect her inability to make those decisions?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
100%.
Undeniably.
So
That's the
could
most
we,
important factor, I would say. The most important, bar none, for sure.
so I know we are talking about women's accountability, but I do want to point out here that a lot of this stems from the failure of a man to play his
I
role.
knew it was coming, bro. As soon as
I'm
you,
just
I knew it
saying,
was
I
Absolutely.
gotta do it.
coming.
Listen,
Can
I
I
gotta
can
do
I
it. I
just
gotta
grab
do
this
it.
one?
I gotta
Yeah,
do it.
please, Red Pill.
I
I'm
gotta do it.
tired.
Let me
I'm
just grab
tired.
this one. Let me grab this one.
Go ahead.
So I have to tell you, as a woman who has been married for 22 years,
Yeah.
it is when you grow up, your father is what your first love will be as a woman, right?
Wow.
So when how your father loves you, you learn one or two things. You learn that this is an acceptable kind of love, the way that he loves you and the way he loves his your mother. So then
Hmm.
if you have a bad dad who is absent, you say, well, that's what I don't want. But some women are
Yeah.
like, oh, that's what I do want, and end up chasing losers.
And some women
The
don't realize that's
problem
what they want,
is
and why that's why they want it. It's
Wait,
that it just
I don't
confuses
think.
them.
the
Sorry, I don't
but
think Marley heard
the
you.
problem is that women nowadays are so worried about having sex and not having a husband to take care of them, to be their leader and their protector, because you think you can do everything on your own, which is not true.
Right.
Man.
Um,
I mean,
do you
this. Oh,
think it
sorry. Go ahead,
makes
Mark.
sense? Sorry. Do you think it makes sense? Not that it's okay, right? Because we're all responsible for our own healing processes and stuff like that. But do you think it makes sense when women, the only relationship with men that they're familiar with is negative ones, to not feel safe letting a man lead their life?
Yeah. Sure.
Say that again. Can you repeat that again?
Uh, I'm asking, do you think, and not that it's an excuse, because I want to acknowledge that, yes, we're all obviously responsible
Yeah.
for our own healing processes, but do you think it makes sense that if a woman in her life, the only thing she's known, the only types of like relationships, whether it be her father, other male figures in her life, then like let's say her boyfriends as she becomes an adult, if the only relationships she's ever known are these like negative, bad ones, that it makes sense that she doesn't feel safe letting a man lead as she
Oh,
grows up?
sure. I can look. I'll give anecdotal experience. I didn't grow up in a father with my. I mean, I didn't grow up in a home with my father. My dad left my mom when she was pregnant. I was very bitter growing up. You feel it this way. Sorry, my babies are home from school. I was very bitter growing up. I was angry, but at a certain point in life, I could not blame my dad or my mom anymore because I had to learn how to cope with life. I'm not saying that there aren't instances where kids get railroaded because their parents make dumb choices and we grow up with these gaping holes and wounds that we don't know how to heal ourselves, but eventually we learn how to do that. If I can learn, and I'm the stereotypical black girl from the inner city, my daddy ain't shit
She black.
and my mama ain't shit, bro. Anybody can do it. It was
So and
hard to become a wife. It was hard, but I did it.
and I will go even further. Both of my parents were addicts. My dad was an abusive husband. He sucked as a husband. He was an abusive father. But I did learn that opposite side of what love, how he loved me. I knew even when my dad was a dick that he loved me, right? But I knew that that's not what kind of man I was going to choose to be the father of my children. Because in a bad situation, you learn what you don't want. And so that was a quality that I didn't want. My dad was not a hard worker because he was a crackhead. My husband is a very hard worker. My husband is everything opposite of my dad, except for my husband is very loving.
So what's some of
So
the stuff
as a
that young women are
woman,
told? Yeah.
we have power, right? And you have the option of accepting the man that you let into your body. Now, if you just let a man into your body the first week that you meet him, you are always going to be a hoe. And you cannot turn a hoe into a housewife, okay?
Oh no. Oh no no.
So, what we allow is not reflective of our parents, it is a reflection of what you allow.
So you're talking about accountability, right?
Me, yes.
See what
We
we're doing
have
here,
to be
folks?
accountable.
Women's accountability.
You
Yeah,
only
no.
get one vagina. You can't be caring and sharing that shit with everyone.
The
One
It's
vagina.
truly sad
the
news.
other question I had was in regards to, I mean, people get married at any age, right? Some people get married in their early 20s, and then I would say after a decade, I think it's safe to say that you've changed a lot as a person. You've like grown and had experiences that change you. And some people change in really good ways and they grow together, and then unfortunately for others they don't. So like to the women that like maybe marry someone who turns out to not be who they thought they were, like they had an honest, I guess, character misjudgment, like they really thought this man was an incredible man, and then as you get older you obviously change a lot. So to the women that decide in those moments that either the best thing for them is to leave, or if they don't really have a choice, they have to leave because of situations of abuse and stuff like that, like do you think that it's better for them to separate themselves and leave, or do you think that the better thing is to stay no matter what?
I think that
Leave.
women
If you're in
listen to their friends way too much, and they always think that the grass is greener. When you choose to say I do, it's for better or for worse. Work your shit out. Especially when you have children. No man is going to love your children the way that their father is. And it
That's
is
true.
unfair. And the rate of SA in children goes up substantially when you decide, well, I'm not happy, so I'm gonna leave because I'm not happy. That's the problem with women, is that they get way too much involved in their damn feelings and not worry about the whole situation. It is always better for you to stay with your husband and work your shit out than
Wow.
for you to think that you're going to get another man who's going to do anything better for you than your husband.
Hey, how do you
See,
feel about this comment? It's, boo bitch. I'm a ghost mega. Username checks out. She said, "That's rich. My kid's father hasn't seen them in 9 years, but nobody will love them like their dad." Ha ha ha. Well, let me tell you this: your kids won't love
that,
anybody else like their dad. They will their dad. No stepdad. He will not fill that void for them. So go on.
here's
Go
a
on,
I
fun
Shannon.
mean,
fact.
we're
I
talking,
disagree with
we're
that, but
making general statements on here, and she's asking general things, and a lot of people are making it personal to them. That's another problem in society. We can't have conversations and speak on the majority of situations without someone making it personal. No one said anything about you or your deadbeat baby daddy that's not there. If he's not there, then bro, that fucking sucks. But you know what? At the end of the day, you chose his deadbeat ass, just like my mother chose my father's deadbeat ass. Women make decisions, and our decisions have repercussions. You don't get to escape that.
Wow.
This
It,
kind
it
of
is
feeds
what
back
it
to what I wanted to
is.
point out earlier when I was saying, like, if you're a young man and you're just starting off dating, a lot of the preconceptions that you have about women will be shattered the more you date women. And one of the hardest ones that I had to come to terms with that I never would have guessed in a million years is that women actually fucking hate making choices. That one caught me off guard.
Bro,
I've
that's what I
dated
say
so
all the
many women.
time.
Yeah, I've dated so many women. They're like you see it in jokes all the time, but like, hey, what do you want to eat? I don't know. How about this? No, and it's just
Bro,
like
I tell
that'll
young men, don't ask her what she wants to eat. Just make the decision, young man, and ask her like, "Yo, let's go to wherever." Because
exactly.
how many times
But
you ask your
they
girl, "Where do you want to go? What do you want to eat?" I don't know. I don't care. She grows to resent you for that shit. She wants a man to just make a decision that makes her life a little easier that she doesn't have to think about.
but they carry that indecisiveness in the reproductive arena as well. And this is what you're seeing these days with this fem cell resurgence. Like women who are literally suffering from paralysis by analysis, and you have on the other side of the aisle the incels who aren't doing anything either, and they're either genetically disadvantaged or just self-involved at the moment, and all this trauma because all this pain, all this single motherhood is going on because we can't accept the simple fact that men and women are different and psychologically approach the idea of dating and sex different as well.
How dare you say
And
that, you toxic man?
I will continue. I'm not apologizing.
Good,
Anyway,
bro. I'm total sarcasm.
I know. But yeah, man, like this woman in the comments who was like, praising her stepdaddy. Sorry about that. The woman in the comments praising her stepfather. I'm sure he might be a good man, and maybe you lucked out and just got a good dude. But the vast majority of child abuse cases come from step parents.
That's true. But real quick, I just want to be clear.
Yeah.
Like, for that woman who had a good stepdad, I actually find people that fill in as stepdads and are good at it to be like the most noble, least thanked, appreciated job in the world, the most risky without any real upside in terms of long-term investment, because you never know that they might leave the whole family, and if they do, it doesn't matter how much time you spent with those kids, they're going to be gone too and write you off like they never even knew you. So good for him, and that's great that you had him, and I hope that I'm glad that you're appreciative of him. And you said something. Kick my
Do you guys not think
just saw
that
that
a
too.
lot of these ideologies give a bad stereotype and a bad view on single moms?
Can I
think
be
it's
honest?
justified.
Sure.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think we should. I think we should shame it. I don't think there should be single parent homes. I don't.
So then, how is that women
Like, at
accountability?
the
And
end
you're
of
not
the day,
okay.
Oh, she was talking, bro.
No,
She
go
was
ahead,
talking.
Marley. Go ahead, Marley. Go ahead.
It's Bella.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't
Please
looking
continue.
at the screen. I'm sorry,
It's
Bella.
okay. But like, I know we're talking about women accountability, but like, that's not just that side of it. So when we're shaming and like, putting these bad stereotypes on single parent households, like, I mean, I'll give anecdotal experience. I'm gonna raise my son better to be a better man than his birth dad ever could, because I know, one, you don't assault women, but two, it's like I can provide a stable household for him. But not only that, I do keep a balance of, I can give him a good male role model with my dad, because I do have that relationship with my dad, but he will respect the fact that his mom worked her ass off to provide.
Well, I'm just going to tell you this, Bella, that I commend you for giving him life, because although you went through SA and you still chose life over murdering him, his life truly does matter. I really do commend you for that.
I was
but
7 months along when I found out that I was pregnant, so it was a little too late to even do anything, but I got you.
Ma'am, can I ask you a question?
Your son is worth it, right?
Oh, absolutely. I'm not going to deny the fact that if I found out sooner, I probably would have made a different decision, just based off of where I was at in life.
And you don't feel like you would have regretted that now that you have
I probably absolutely would have regretted it, because I absolutely love being a mother, but I would be lying to myself if I didn't admit the fact that I was in a different place in my life at that point.
And when you see your son have come to age now and how much you love him and whatnot, does that not hit you hard when you think about how removed from that kind of deep connection to the process you were back then? If you were when you were a young girl, it sounds like you weren't considering.
What are you asking? Sorry, I didn't understand what you were saying.
Having had your son and raised him and how much you love him now, it sounds like back then you would have made a different decision. Does that not change the decision you would have made in hindsight? Like, if you would have had the loving experience you have with your son now?
If I had the experience and the love that I have now, and I found out earlier in the pregnancy, I would absolutely keep him.
There we go. Okay, cool.
And as much as it is hard to say, and it is like, shit, I don't like admitting this, it is the truth. At the time, I was in a very different place, but I'm not very religious, but I do believe it was the time and the place that I found out, and then I decided to keep my kid. So.
Well, I'm glad that you did, and I'm glad that you.
I'm sure he's glad that you did too.
Good point.
What was your question, Winter Rants?
Oh, well, I was going to ask you how old your boy is, that's all.
Oh, he's 4.
4? Oh, it's a good age.
It's the best age. It's so
Not
cute.
yet.
just before you start
5
remembering things
is
and
the
knowing things.
best.
Really?
5 is by far the best with boys.
Oh.
Oh man.
Just so y'all know, Marley is actually my son's father. So
Well, if
I'm
I can, if
TikTok
I can,
dad.
What
I
the?
if
love
I can
Red
extend to you,
He's so
if I can
cute.
extend to you just one piece of advice, just from a guy who knows just how tough it is being raised by a single mom that's working her ass off. The best way to discipline a boy as a single mom is going to be exercise. Push-ups, sit-ups, run around the complex,
Great
anything of that
advice.
sort.
yeah, I played college
Make
softball, and
him
that's how I was raised. So that will definitely be a part
absolute.
of our life.
But he's saying hit disciplinary measures for young men. You should make physical exercises. That's a great,
Oh yeah,
great piece of
that's
advice.
literally how I was raised. Like my parents made me go on like 3-mile runs if I lied.
Okay, so,
God
yeah.
dang.
Yeah.
All right.
You better be a track star
But,
by
like-
now.
right.
I mean, it definitely helped with college softball, but it doesn't help now that I have old lady bones.
Oh lordy.
Yeah,
I was a catcher,
How-
so my knees.
How old are you?
So hold on, I am 24, but being a catcher, I have like 80-year-old knees.
Don't tell people that. Don't. By the way, that's not a good
It's-
flattering look for women. Okay, that you have bad knees. Don't say that.
Listen,
Just for your own
I'm
sake.
literally in my 40s. You see my crutches? I just had knee surgery.
No, I'm just saying, like you're setting yourself up for a pretty easy running gag if you like, I got bad knees or whatever. Like, just don't be saying that. Little pro tip.
I paired it with saying I was a catcher, but I see what
I
you're
know,
going.
but the catcher thing doesn't
But
help
that-
either necessarily. If you want to go with that euphemism,
Oh,
I'm just,
God.
I'm just saying. Don't say that anymore for yourself.
Oh man.
A lesser man would have taken the bat and hit a home run with that. But see, I'm just
You
trying
know,
to give you
she's been
some
an
advice.
absolute trooper, so I've been biting my tongue.
Bro, these girls are both great. I appreciate
I
good
grew up
dialogue
a
like that.
redhead. I take all the disses.
You
I
grew up
have a
redhead.
question for you too.
Sure.
Oh, go ahead, Suni.
I have a
No, I just
question
said
for the
they're
ladies.
cool. I like when you can have a sensible conversation with women, because you can't do this with a lie, bro. I don't know if you guys saw. There was a woman. She's like, "Who hurt you? You guys are miserable. You need a hug. Go to counseling." And I'm like, "Damn! Just because you don't agree, like it's okay, bro."
I mean, this topic
cool,
does
you know.
get a little like close to the heart for me because it's like I am a single mom, so it's like I'm the first one to admit I can get a little emotional, a little touchy about this because
Well,
it's
that's
like
why. Yeah, that's why I appreciate you.
close to home. But
Yeah.
it's like also I'm all for respectful conversations.
Well, this is what we need in the world.
But
I have a statement.
you're a single mom because of SA.
But that's
You're
completely
not the
different.
You're not the majority.
Good point.
The
Great point.
majority right now, like seriously, girls at 24 right now, there's some who have 4 babies' daddies and crying
For
about
real.
being single moms, but they have 4 baby daddies.
And they're doing it to get the government paycheck, that government cheese half the time. You know what I mean? It's terrible.
If you're 22 and you have 2 babies' daddies, you need to just sit the fuck down and just put the dick away and just stop.
Facts. I don't think you could. Anybody could.
Take care
Hold
of
up.
your children and get your life right, because there's no reason to have 5 babies daddies or 3 baby daddies. Like that shit is confusing for kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know my
there's no good
situation's
reason.
extreme, but it's like it's still the fact of like the generalization statement single households or single mothers, stuff like that. I know like my situation's totally different, but it's just like the generalization, and then it's like, oh, that hits a little close to the heart.
Men and women are stuck in this nonsense because feminism operated under generalizations, and women and men collectively fell for that crap.
Wow.
So, I mean, generalizations got us into this mess. They can get us out.
Well, here's the thing. When we say stuff like that, we're obviously, it's like Jesse Lee Peterson said, not all, but most. Like, we don't want to have to say that every single time we say something, but that's why he does it. Another reason I think he's hilarious, by the way. But yeah, it doesn't mean everybody. Obviously, there's going to be outliers, and if it doesn't apply to you, you shouldn't take offense. You know what I mean? That's good advice for anything out there for people. But
we have to think about it. There's not just SA. There's single moms because their husbands die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
that's
my aunt was. My aunt was.
What we're talking about is single moms who are single because they choose to lay down with degenerate men who don't want to be their baby daddy in the first place. They just want to spit their snot in their spot box, and
So
then you end up
you're a
with a
poet.
baby.
She's spitting
Or
bars.
these women who think, well, I'm going to trap this man and I'm going to get pregnant. I.e., Drake got sued for putting hot sauce in a condom because the bitch went
Oh, I
to the
remember
trash
this.
can and got the condom out after fucking him and tried to put the cum in her cooch, but he had put hot sauce in the condom and her little vajayjay was on fire.
Oh my
For
god.
Mark,
reference,
I heard
gentlemen,
about that.
horseradish sauce from Arby's is far better. The coloration matches a lot better.
Oh my
Oh
god.
shit.
I heard about that. That's wild.
Pro tip, young man.
yeah.
Don't use hot sauce.
I
It
think
stands out.
Red Post said she was gonna ask us a question. I don't know if you still wanted to ask us.
Oh.
I do have a question. Would you agree that when marriages were traditional, that families tended to do better and that children were happier?
Uh,
Like your mother, you said your grandparents are still married, right?
Yeah.
So your mother was raised in a two-parent household, and then your mother got married to your father, and they're still married, right?
Well, so the opposite. My father was raised in a two-parent household. My mother actually was not. My mom was raised by a single mother. But my grandparents on my father's side, yes, they were two-parent household.
And your dad's a pretty stable guy?
That's debatable, but I wouldn't say it's because of the marriage. I would say it's more it's for other reasons. But in a relationship, yes, he's a good husband and father. Sometimes.
And that's probably because of the example of his father still being with his mother.
Right.
I would say that there are other situations where it's like it can still be a two-parent household, but there can still be major issues that result from it. Like you can like the man of oh god, I cannot speak time. I'm sorry. Like my dad, I'll be the first to admit he's a little bit of a narcissist, and that's because his dad had the mindset of no, like I'm over you, you submit to me, and like all this other stuff, and like basically treated his wife like property. But then when we're looking at like my mom's parents, both of my grandparents have been married 65 to like 70 years together like the whole time. They were very religious, and their like mindset is very much like she's grown up with money issues, like with issues on the thoughts of money. Her parents never like believed in medicinal stuff or like mental health anything or anything like that, and so she's grown up with other issues too.
Well, ladies, how do you feel about the thoughts of being property, especially Suni? I know she can't contribute at the moment. How do you feel about being property?
I mean, I don't have a problem with it, honestly.
Because you
like,
said you said the other day, and I found it interesting. I never heard this before, but a man doesn't truly love what he doesn't own, or something like that, right?
He doesn't. Men don't take care of anything that they don't own. Like, look, say for instance, if I were to go outside and look at my husband's car, that shit's shiny. His rims are nice. The inside of his car is taken care of.
Mm,
His area in our bedroom is clean. It's put together. He
yeah.
doesn't like people touching his things. They're his. They don't love anything they don't own.
Wow.
It
I
just
do
is what it
think
is.
I do think like giving men tasks is like good. Like I feel like in my relationships, if there's a situation that's bad and like my partner, like if it's my situation, if he doesn't know how to help, like sometimes like if they're not the best emotional support, if you just give them things to do, if they have something that they can do for you or like accomplish, that they do better with that
Maybe you should try to
than
offer
money.
him to do the things for him. That would be a better approach to start
Well,
with, I
right,
would
no,
say.
that's what I mean. Like in situations, like I feel like men, instead of like talking
Don't
stuff
give
out
don't
and
give
stuff
him
like
things to
that.
do. Don't give him things to do because you don't want a man that you can just demand and tell what to do. You want a man that's gonna listen to your needs and determine whether they're legit or maybe you're just being a little emotional at the moment or whatever it may be. But allow him to determine the course of action would be my advice.
Right,
Don't
that's
give
what
him
I
things.
mean.
I
Don't tell.
think that you have to But the thing is that all men are different and we all speak different love languages. And so you have to figure out what his love language. And the problem is that a lot of times, and I'm going to tell you, after 22 years of marriage, you still have to figure this shit out. Like,
It's work,
it's
right? It takes a lot of
changing.
commitment. It changes
But
all the
it's
time.
but it's like taking care of your car. You have to change your oil. Like, you have to shine the shit up. You got to take care of your engine. You have to make sure your tank is full. But not everyone is going to love, and it's crazy because my husband and I, we literally just again 22 years of marriage, just read 5 love languages together. And we both know that neither one of us are into gifts, neither one of us. But I'm more quality time, and my husband is acts of service. Just go, just go.
Oh, that's super dope. I have to read
Did you say
that. I've
acts of
heard a lot
service?
about that.
My husband
Love
is acts
languages
of
are super
service.
interesting.
So, like, I could do everything for that man, but I could hug him and kiss him and fuck him, whatever. But if I clean the kitchen or, like, his house is clean, that is what his love
Yeah,
language is.
same here. Create a peaceful environment. Look, my husband gets home, I don't say shit to him. He likes to sit down, play his game. I don't bug him. When he's ready to get up, he'll come over and give me a hug and a kiss. How was your day, babe? I just I just think women need to learn when to shut the fuck up sometimes, honestly, man. Just shut up sometimes. Don't even complain sometimes. Sometimes things aren't even worth complaining about. You can deal with things yourself. I've learned that. Trust
Wow.
me. We have gotten into it, man, heavy.
If you
And I had to
if,
learn it there's a time to talk and there's a time to shut the hell up.
Hmm.
if you're a
Wow.
young man and you want
Here's
like
an
the
analogy for you, and
absolute,
I gotta hop off because I have to go grocery shopping.
Sunni, I do
But
too.
look,
So we're going to stop this in a moment. But go ahead, Winter Rants. Did you have a quick thing you wanted to say to that?
oh, she muted herself.
Go ahead, buddy.
Were you asking me?
No,
No, I was
Winter
just
Rants, I
saying
think,
I
had
oh my
apologize.
something.
bad. I thought he said winter. No, the best thing you can do is keep his balls empty and his stomach full, and then shut up.
We're
The
not
And
that
his
best thing
house
you
complicated.
can.
clean.
We're not
And
that
his
complicated,
house
man. Listen to her.
clean.
Listen to her. We're not that
Sis.
complicated.
Yes.
You guys are the complicated ones. We're not that complicated.
Hey, look, it's giving pick me. I've been picked. I don't need to be
It's
picked.
giving pick
I'm
me. Of
already.
course,
I'm already chosen.
the live is complete. The live is complete. We got the pick me comment.
Listen, he put a ring on it a long time ago. I fuck him, I feed him, and I clean his damn house. 22 years. That's what bitches need to strive for, okay?
That's a foundation right there for any man, any straight man. I'm telling you, ladies, it's not that complicated. That's a great foundation. He'll happily wipe that girl up if he finds a girl that's looking to satisfy those 3 areas.
Most of the women in the comment section saying this are single as fuck or mad as shit because they pick ain't shit dudes. I bet you money.
I don't need no man. Well, guess what? No men need you either. Buy a dog and die alone.
See,
Have fun.
I was gonna say, whoops, hold on, sorry. I was gonna say, if you're a young man and you wanna hear advice from probably the greatest voice on men's relationship advice, go on YouTube and look up a absolute legend named Patrice O'Neal.
He's got some good
And
stuff.
look up, there's a whole playlist. It says Patrice O'Neal on women, and it's like 70 fucking videos of different situations that he's been in or that he's experienced, and like how to ninja your way out of that nonsense. And I got to tell you, man, that, like I was first introduced to him back in 2014, and he changed my friggin' life.
Life changing.
And he's
Yeah, I hear you.
funny as hell.
That's how Kevin Samuels is for a lot of young men. Andrew Tate now.
My boys are really into Minister Jap.
Never
I
heard
never
of that.
heard of that. Who's that?
Minister Job, that's funny. I love that guy, yo.
What's his name?
Minister Job.
He has church on these bitches.
What's his
Whoa.
name?
Minister Jap.
JAP, like Japanese.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Worse,
Cool.
he's worse than Andrew Tate and Kevin Samuels put together. Y'all don't like Andrew Tate? You damn sure wouldn't like Minister Job, yo. He
I'm gonna
calls
love him.
women
I bet.
out.
I bet I'm gonna
And
love him.
it's Sunni, my 19-year-old son was like, Mom, you got to listen to Minister Jap and tell me what you think about him. And then I was listening to him, and he just comes real incorrect. And the thing is that a lot of times women get their feelings hurt by what is fact, and it's because they know that they're not living right. Like, no woman ever just wants to just be a hoe, just to be a hoe. They want to have a man who loves their dirty draws. They want to, but you're such a hoe that no man can love you. Like, you got to move to another state and change your fucking identity and get the vaginal rejuvenation because you done been ran through so much.
Well, it's even better. There was an article about, oh my God, this must have been like 5 years ago, but it was covered by a YouTube commentator named, and I apologize for the name, I didn't pick it, Turd Flinging Monkey, and he talked about this phenomenon where these it's basically purity culture shit, where these girls will legit go into a virgin room and re-virginize themselves after conducting themselves immorally, if you know what I mean.
Can't do that, man. In my experience, that cannot be done, ladies. You can tell a difference down there after a while, ladies. Just know that.
But don't like Turd Flinging Monkey was censored a long time ago. He's gone. They destroyed his ass.
What a handle.
He was like the beta test for Andrew Tate, man. That guy was hardcore.
Speaking of Andrew Tate, this is gonna be a cliffhanger because we got to get out of here. But I think that guy is a fascinating, brilliant mind. The more I'm starting to realize what he's doing here and what he accomplished, dude, he's the most famous dude on the internet. He set out to take it over. He literally declared this shit, including TikTok. He did without ever creating a TikTok account. He doesn't even have an account. He can't be canceled. He can't be canceled. It's like, bro, cancel what?
Didn't he literally get banned off of social media?
Like, you can't cancel me. I don't have nothing. I got nothing you can cancel, you bitches.
Imagine being respected and admired for simply pointing out that the room that we're all in happens to be on fire. Like,
wow. Well, that's how badly it's needed in the world right now, bro. Great point. That's how much both young men are dying for this kind of. And believe it or not, women, you get a lot of knee-jerk reactions toward him. But if you take a step back and try to really listen to what he's saying, it's for your benefit too. You need men like this in the world. He's encouraging men to grow into the men that you want. I'm telling you guys want it. Whether even you might not know that right now. That's the kind of man you want. That it is.
Absolutely.
Do you believe in like monogamy?
That's a complicated question.
Like in a relationship.
Yeah, you guys can answer. I have a long answer, so I can go first or something.
Can you shut the door?
Wait. I kind of want to hear host's answer now. This is very interesting.
Okay, so I believe in monogamy. I believe that I would require that from a woman. Absolutely. I would probably do that to her, but what I'm getting at, the reason it's nuanced is because men and women don't engage in sex with the same emotional depth necessarily. Now, if you find a woman you love, a man does, but a man can bang a girl that you don't even know, forget about her the next moment. It's not even a thing. A woman, if she were to step out on her man or something, it's premeditated. It's a deeply emotional, intimate thing. And I'm not condoning a man stepping out. I'm just saying it's when you say it like that. Sometimes men do it. And by the way, men can't get laid ever unless and until they slowly start earning value, or at least deceive a woman into seeming of value enough to give him sex. So you women can get laid anytime you want by a bunch of different dudes. Your value is if you preserve yourself sexually. A man's sexual marketplace value is if he can get sex. So it's a little different.
I just mean you personally for your own relationships. Like, do you value monogamy?
Well, like I said, I don't know. It's complicated because I'm not trying to get in a relationship right now at all. So it's hard to say.
Yeah, I'm not asking that. I just mean like hypothetically, I guess. I'm just trying to gauge where, because I know like I view masculinity, like a masculine man, is like part of it being like a man who can like protect women, right? Like someone who can like protect the women in his life that he cares about.
Sure.
And so when I hear someone like Andrew Tate make statements that are like, oh well, if you're rich and you're loyal to your girlfriend, you're stupid. That just doesn't come off as like masculine to me.
What I think that's why I was trying to like clarify how men can sometimes perceive it, because so for man, a woman, only a small percentage of men ever start earning the right to get sex from women. By the way, most men can't get it like ever. So you women all value a certain high class of men, and so the most men are never getting sex. And so once a man slowly over his life starts earning the ability to get sex and the marketplace shifts, whereas opposed to you guys can get sex anytime you want, you're born with all your value. It's a different game because he's a seed planter by nature. First of all, I'll say that all kings and all kinds of other things have been have many wives. You've never seen a system where a woman has had many men, is what I'm trying to get at. So certainly on the woman's side, they did not desire monogamy. On the man's side, I don't know. It's hard to say because I'm not trying to get in a relationship right now. Like I said,
Right.
but
I just mean like even if like by nature, let's just like say like hypothetically like men like are obviously like let's say more prone to like being polyamorous and wanting multiple sex partners. But don't you think still like in a relationship with a woman, like because even if he can go and sleep with a woman and not think about it, who's not his girlfriend or wife, if his girlfriend or wife did find out about it, it would cause her, I would imagine, if she cares about this man, a lot of pain. And so to me, if
because
you're
she
taking your
perceives it as a deep
partner,
emotional, she perceives it as a deep emotional investment in how a woman perceives it. I'm trying to tell you, a man don't look at it like that all the time. And again, I'm not trying to excuse it happening. I'm just saying it's not the same level of transgression that you guys might think it is in your heads.
that's what I mean. Like, do you think she shouldn't be hurt by that?
Well, it depends
Because
on
it's
what their
now
agreement
deep.
is from the beginning. It depends on what their
Gotcha.
agreement is from the beginning, I would say. But perhaps she could be hurt, but it depends on how he explains it to her. It depends on I don't know. There's a lot of variables there, if you ask me. It's a little more complex, a little more nuanced.
So biologically, like, men are continually filling up with sperm, right? So they need that release. And so it's a physiological thing that men need that release of sex. And with women that are mentally stable, sex is really emotional. That's an emotional tie.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why women, I mean, scientifically, women are tied to the first man that they have sex with because there's an actual chemical bond
Pair bonding,
that
yeah.
will always be bonded to him from us. So women are definitely more emotional when it comes to sex, and for men it is just the act, like they're just trying to bust a nut,
When they
literally.
can, if and when they can ever get it. So once they can start getting it a little bit, sometimes they might take that option or something. If he's open and honest with you, I don't see a reason to get all upset about it as a woman, especially if he comes home to you like, yeah, whatever happened. If you don't want to tell you about it, that's cool. I'm not going to be like dogging you out. I'm not going to be doing anything in public, bring home any babies or STDs or anything like that. If it happens every once in a while that some chick comes my way and gives me a good time, we could have threesome or whatever it may be. I'm just saying there's variables here that I don't want to paint it as black and white for everybody. That's all.
But then it comes to that whole women's accountability, right? Because if that's what kind of man that you're going to accept, then that's what you're going to get. And there is power in pussy. And I will tell you that men will only treat you how you accept them to treat you. If you let them treat you like that, then that's how they're going to treat you and they won't change. Because
Gotcha.
that's how the foundation of the relationship is. So they're not going to value you. You'll never be a high value woman to them.
Gotcha.
So
Oh,
we have to be accountable to how we allow a man that we're dating, that we allow them to treat us. So if you want a man to respect you, then you have to respect yourself first. And I think that a lot of times women don't love their self enough first. And so they'll let a man treat them like shit because they don't love themselves. So who cares? So when you love yourself enough, then you won't allow a man to treat you like shit.
Gotcha.
Yo, I hate to cut it so abruptly, but I just realized it's super late. This has been a great convo, everybody.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me up.
Yeah.
Likewise. And hey, follow us, everybody on here. Everybody in the comments, follow everybody on here because you heard it here first. This is the TikTok takeover. We're bringing common sense culture over here. So, Red Pill, my girl, thanks.
This was
Peace
great.
out.
We'll be doing it more often. Marley and Bellula, you girls
Bella.
are great.
You just
It
say
says Bella and Mar.
Bellula. I like Bellula
Well,
better.
Bella and Mar is literally me and Marley.
Yeah.
We're literally friends outside of TikTok.
Wait, what is that?
My handle is Bella and Mar because it's like literally for Bella and Marley, like because we're actual
friends
friends.
outside TikTok. Yeah.
Awesome. That's cool. Cool. Well, thanks for stopping in, friends.
All right. Peace out.
Peace, everybody.
Good night.
Night, Red Pill.